She got a bike for her birthday, and that's where things kind of started. She tried to pedal the bicycle, which she'd always had a bike, and she kind of started to fall off of it. She couldn't really pedal, and we thought that was a little weird. And she got mad because she really wanted the bike, and she was like, I just don't like it. And so she kind of pushed it aside, and we kind of just let it go, but I still thought it was weird that she couldn't ride the bike.
He was running track. They broke the school record in the track meet. Very active, you know, but you know, every once in a while he'd say, my leg hurts.
So we went to the doctor the next week to get her shots, and I mentioned it to the doctor that I had noticed that she was limping a little bit. And I said, well, she fell off the bike, and you know, she's playing basketball, and she's in dance. And he's like, well, maybe she just strained it.
We were about to walk out of the office, and the doctor said, you know what? Come back here. And he said, hop back up on the table. And he said, you know, her thigh looks a little swollen. He said, let me get one more x-ray.
So he turned on the light on the x-ray, and then turned it right back off. And I went, okay, that was weird.
He said, you're not imagining it, there's a lesion. Now, I had no idea what that meant.
I thought that it was just growing pains, or who knows. I was never thinking cancer. That was never crossed my mind.
So I went to the other office to get the MRI, and they came out after 15 minutes, and they said, what did your doctor tell you?
There's something more serious than I thought was going on, but still, cancer never crossed my mind. I never thought my child had cancer.
I got a call from my dad, and my dad told me that Casey had colon cancer. I was in a little bit of denial of the magnitude of what it all meant.
I still wasn't scared for some reason. I don't know why.
We went up to the children's floor, and we saw all the little bald kids, and going, we just don't belong here.
It can't be cancer. Kids don't get cancer.
The lady from Candle Letters came up and handed Thomas her card, and he's like, my kid doesn't have cancer, you know, you have your card back, you know. And she's like, well, if you need me, we just felt like everyone knew something we didn't know.
These doctors think that my child has cancer.
When we left, the nurses piled on bags and pens and keychains, and that was what scared me. The fact that they gave her all these gifts. And I got home and I said to Vince, this child, she's really sick.
First we found out about the colon cancer, and then the bone cancer, the osteosarcoma. I went back home, and it wasn't really until then that it hit me how serious it was.
We had started at 9 in the morning with all the hydration and the blood work and everything that happens before you can start chemo. So it was like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, and we finally signed the paperwork, and our life in cancer land began. Dr. Kurbitz went into the safe thing that let's talk numbers, let's talk percentages. He said to him, you know, am I going to die? It's like, whoa. Dr. Kurbitz said, you know, well, you know, you probably have, you know, about a 35% chance. Here's your child, and he's just devastated, and you have to give him hope. It's like, okay, no, we're just going to get through this together, so. And then I fell apart.
She always did whatever McKenna did. Like if McKenna was in gymnastics, she would do gymnastics. If McKenna did swimming, she would do swimming. Well, one year, McKenna decided she didn't want to swim. And so she said, well, then I'm not going to swim. And I said, you can still swim if you want to swim. And so she said, okay. And she decided to swim that year. Swimming became her thing. Like she just was really good at it. And this was like the first experience of independence that she felt. And she just loved it. Not a very attractive look for me. Why I can't?
Looks like you have a pimple on your nose.
So we went to see the doctor at the hospital, and that was sort of when the roller coaster happened. You know, we got in and all the tests started. I mean, and within a day, we knew that it was an osteosarcoma in her right femur. We knew that it had metastasized to her lungs. And then he said, she'll most likely succumb to this disease within 9 to 12 months.